Hey guys, what's up? This is We Are Machines here again with another tutorial on Ableton Live 9. So this is a song that I've already released titled Falling Away. You can download it on my soundcloud.com/We Are Machines. Enough of that bullshit. Let's get to the song. So I'm gonna play the song through. If you guys want to skip ahead, the song's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds long, around there. So just skip ahead in the video to that point. Other than that, let's have a listen. Cool. So yeah, that's gonna be what we break down today. So without any further ado, let's get to the main melody. So if you guys have seen my last tutorial, you know that I like to sample synths onto tape, specifically like a one shot of a C note, and plug it into sampler and create my melodies like that. So for this first one, let's solo that. We got that. Boom. Control L is to loop. Except that's whoa. Okay, so that's the filtered one. Alright, here we go. So Control L is to loop a selected area. It's a handy hotkey. Anyways, so let's hear this melody. Cool. So yeah, so for this specific sample came from Phonic. Let me open up another track real quick. Yeah, Phonic's a cool, pretty much the Boards of Canada synth, and I'm a big fan of Boards of Canada, so I had to buy this synth. It's like $50 or something, completely worth it. So this is Phonic too. Yeah, man, this synth is fucking sick. Okay, that wasn't a sick sound, so let's find one. I think this one's pretty cool. yeah, pretty dope. Let me lower the volume on that shit, because it probably deafened half the viewers. So yeah, this gives you like that. Yeah, alright, so you get it. But yeah, I definitely suggest buying this synth. Yeah, I don't know, I just love it. This is what I sampled. It's like I just pretty much held the C note the whole time. Recorded with my tape recorder. For this one I used the Sony, I don't know what the model is. TCM 200 DV. Is that what it is? Yeah, I think so. But yeah, it's just a Sony tape recorder. It has a pitch shift control, just a built-in mic right there. I usually just record it with the built-in mic. But yeah, so that's what this synth is. Let me delete all this shit. But yeah, Phonic, check it out. Fucking dope. So let's get down in this. So it's just this sample. Let me play it for you. Yeah, I don't know, just playing random shit, but that's the sound I got out of it. Let me turn off all these plugins going on. I'll keep the compressor on just so we maintain a stable volume, unlike the last tutorial. Sorry about that. But anyways, here it is without the processing besides the compressor. Pretty cool. Yeah, so right here I have this sustain mode where it's gonna go, so pretty much this is like the loop of the sample. So if I let go of the key and it continues, like if my release is long enough, it's gonna shoot back at a lower volume, just so you have it like a nice sustain. So let me play a high note. But yeah, there you go, you see it going back and forth, because obviously the sample ends right here from my recording, so I had to do this to get that long, nice release. But yeah, so that's that. Our filter here, I'm cutting off at about 6 hertz with a little 9.1 booster, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and a nice long 7.5 second release time. And yeah, that's basically that sound. Yeah, and then our spread's at 0 for this one. And I think that's about gonna do her for the sampler. So let's move on to Mondo Mod, which you guys know I love. So right here we're just using the frequency modulation depth. You can set the BPM to 22, which coincidentally is divisible by 84, I guess. I didn't do that on purpose, but I noticed that. And yeah, that's interesting. Who cares? So yeah, this is, let's hear it without Mondo Mod. So yeah, that's without Mondo Mod, and let's hear it with. So you can hear when it hits these points, the pitches. This is basically the pitch going up and down, just ever so slightly. The mix is at 93. That's basically your dry wet. Yeah, so that's that. Next we have the CLA 76 Waves plugins. These are both Waves plugins, by the way. I like the Waves bundle. It's not too shabby. Yeah, let's see here. So yeah, ratio 4. On this one, there's no threshold setting. You just boost the input up to till you see however much gain reduction you want. And yeah, usually I aim around 3, depending on what it is. Let's see what this is at. Yeah, so it's like around 5, 3. But yeah, this is just basically keeping it at a consistent volume and giving it a little boost. This is modeled after a 1176 compressor analog, so it has like a analog feel, I guess. It kind of adds that noise. Yeah, see, that's either a good or a bad thing, but since we're doing lo-fi, we don't give a shit. Let's just add some glory there. Yeah. So let's hear it without that. And then with, cover your ears. Yep. And yeah, there you go. Then our EQ is cutting out some of that low muddiness and some of that high shit. Yeah, so yeah, you get that point. So we have that there. Did I just fuck that up? Or am I? Oh, I'm on a completely different thing. Alright, yeah, so there's your EQ. And now, my favorite part, the simple delay. So this is gonna, it's basically, you see how this timing, that's the left speaker, right speaker. So these are two different delays for each speaker. I have them pretty close. But yeah, it's gonna give it like this bounce back and forth kind of thing, a jig. Because I used to like using a reverb for this kind of stuff, but at school, one of my teachers suggested using a delay instead, just because it won't add that muddiness and it's more like you can control it more. And I don't know, it actually kind of does sound better. Check it out. Here's without. So you could see, yeah, you could hear it right there, just bouncing back and forth. Has a cool sound to it. Then we just have our side chain. Select my drum rack, boom. Select my kick, boom. Set the ratio, set your attack and release, boom. And you can see the gain reduction is basically how much pump you're gonna get and the timing of it. And if you're getting pops when you're side chaining, just bring your attack up. And yeah, that's gonna be it for that pretty much. Let's move on to our main pads. Let's see what these sound like. Yeah, cool. Kind of noisy, but I like that. It's kind of like that. I don't know if you guys listen to Kona Triangle, but that was a lot. Some of their songs have that crazy shit. I like it. It's pretty cool. It's like some crazy hissy bullshit going on. So again, I think this actually might be the fast track recording I used in the other tutorial. Not sure. No, I think it's the same phonic one. But yeah, same idea. Pick a piece of this, whichever sample I want. This is like 20 minutes of me sitting here with the tape recorder, hitting notes and different fucking with shit on phonic and just recording it for 20 minutes. And then when I get into the writing phase, I'll pick whichever one of these shots that I like the most for whatever sound I'm trying to get, and then just start tapping away on the keyboard. So yeah, I mean, you just gotta experiment with that as far as composing, I guess, if you want to call it that. I would call it fucking around with it. I don't know. Anyway, so then into the filter we have cutting off some of that high end and a little resonance boost. 6%. Filter has 6%. The attack is kind of long, just to give it like that paddiness, you know, just like that slope is basically the volume. Your attack is like your volume level as it comes in initially. Boom. So then a long release, because yeah, it's a pad. And yeah, nothing much else going on there. No modulation. Yeah, so let's turn off these besides the compressors. And here's without Mondo Mod or EQ. And then here's with Mondo Mod. Again, that's the pitch right there. I'm modulating, kind of simulating a vinyl or whatever kind of shitty, fucked up recording you might want to be trying to achieve. And yeah, I like using that. Try it out. It's cool. It just gives it more like detail, I guess. I don't know, but yeah. Here's with the EQ. So right away you can tell I'm cutting away all that low end fucking garbage piece of shit. Okay, and boosting some high end there because this is a pad anyway. I mean, do we have any? Actually, we have a 48% spread on it, so it's a little bit wider. Usually on the wide outside of your stereo field, you want high end, and as you get towards the middle, you want more low end. Like your bass will be mono, all that shit, right? Cool. What else that does is, so you have your, let's say my pads on the outside, then I have my bass in the middle, so low frequency content's in the middle, so then I'll put my main melody in the middle, which I did, I believe, yeah. And so that way you have space for everything, you know, your high frequencies here, a low and a high frequency in the middle. Not claiming to be great at this, but that's what I've come up with. I don't know. But yeah, so there you go. That's that, just cutting away that mud, boom. Compressing it to get a nice consistent sound. And that's it for that pad. Now we'll go to the lo-fi bass and let's check it out. Cool, yeah, you get it. It's I had a similar thing in the last tutorial. This is basically like mid frequency, yeah, as you can tell, stuff for the middle of our stereo field, the width set to 0 right there. It's another phonic sample, I believe, and yeah, just played it on the keyboard, figured out a little rhythm that worked, spread at 0, filter, cutting out some high end, not much going on with the amp envelope, and let's see, no modulation, so let's turn this off, and this, and this. Well, we'll leave that on. You know what that's doing, it's making it mono. So here it is without mono mod, or EQ. And then with mono mod. Again, just giving it like that fucking inconsistent pitch, wobble, what have you. And here's with the EQ. So, you know, I mean, I already knew writing this that this was gonna be like my mid bass sort of, and I'd have my sub bass under it. So I cut out all the low end, all the sub, like this where most of your sub shit is, and then I just gave it some of that crustiness in the middle. So here it is with that. So yeah, getting rid of all that muddy bullshit. And then we have another CLA compressor. This input's at the maximum. I can't talk anymore. Too much coffee. Anyways, yeah, so yeah, as typically I'm aiming for -3 dB of gain reduction. Just trying to make the bass sit nice and keep a consistent rate. Our utilities, keeping it mono. Let's see if you can hear the difference. Yeah, it just smashes it in the middle. And yeah, I have a limiter also with the ceiling set right here. If you look at the meter right here, it's gonna stay right there because I set the ceiling at 19. So 19 is probably right here. So that means that the sound, it's gonna limit the volume to that point. So if I set that point there so that pretty much the volume of that stays consistent the whole time. It might vary a little bit, but not too much. Yeah, you can see it just sitting right there. Yep. It's typically what I do for bass, be it sub bass or whatnot. So, speaking of which, let's move on to sub bass. Cool. So that, of course, is supplementing our lo-fi bass. So here, both of them together. Yeah, and then they both have like the same sidechain settings, so it even makes them sound like one even more because they're both ducking at the same time and whatnot. But yeah, for sub bass I like to use Zeta 2. I'm not sure if Zeta 3 is out or ever will come out, or it might have already been out and I'm just behind. Anyways, so it's 1, 2 square waves and a sine wave. First square wave is boosted 2 octaves, second one an octave, and our sine wave is 1 octave. So yeah, and then got a little filter cutting off bullshit over here. Not much else. Yeah, not really anything going on inside of here. It's just a sub bass. And the EQ is cutting out, I think there's a lot of mid weird shit. Yeah, like that buzziness, so I'm just like cutting that out. All I want is that low end that you're not gonna get from a tape sample. So I gotta keep it digital for that, and have it compressed pretty heavily to keep it at a stable, consistent volume. Limited, just like the lo-fi bass. Trying to keep it at a solid volume. As you can see, it's just staying there. Yep, and this should be set to mono, so usually want your sub bass set at mono. Okay, so let's move on to the drums. So yeah, that's my drums. I'm just, you know, banging it out on the drum pad over here. Yeah, I have to play slow because there's a fuckload of latency. But yeah, I just sit here for a while, just try to come up with a beat. Try to make it interesting, you know. This one's 4 bars, so I mean, if you do 2 bars, it's probably gonna get repetitive. So I just like to make them either 4 bars or 8 bars. But yeah, so let's get into the drums. Start with the kick. So this is the kick 02 from the Lex Luger kit. Yeah, Lex Luger kit. And you could look that up on Google and get one of those. But yeah, so I have it transposed -1. I have the filter set to PRD. I know that's some kind of analog sampler emulator, and you could drive it and it gives it some kind of like crustiness or whatever. And I have the frequency set really low just to give it like that thump and not really much click, because I don't know, I guess for this song I was feeling the thump and that sounds wrong. So anyways, there it is. Also have some EQ. Yeah, the EQ's again just like emphasizing that thump. You hear it, it sounds like a fucking giant water balloon, giant as fuck, like taking a shit or something. You can hear like bloop. Like, yeah, it sounds like a shit hitting the toilet in slow motion. But yeah, enough of that. And then I have a compressor. With the compressor on the kick or snare, you usually want to adjust your attack so that the initial transient, like when it first hits, like this part, you want this to go uncompressed, and then you want the compressor to kick in around here. You know what I mean? So setting the attack means that the compressor is not going to work till like about, so however many seconds you set it to. Does this thing show us milliseconds? No. But anyway, so like 3 milliseconds, maybe it's right here with this third line. So my compressor's not kicking in till right here, just so I get that punch of the, you know, the imaginary pedal hammer hitting the kick. You know, even though it's like a digital sample, but yeah, that's what that's doing. Let's see how it sounds with that. Yeah, it just makes it more thumpy. And yeah, I don't know. That's what I came up with. Next, we'll go to the hi-hat. Check it out. Yeah, whatever. It's a fucking hi-hat. How exciting can it be? Yeah, so that's the hi-hat. This one came from this vinyl drum pack. Let's see, hi-hat 8. Hi-hat 8. Let's go to my samples. Holy shit. Okay, so yeah, probably, I think in vinyl pack 3. Yeah. That's definitely not it. Nope. Well, it's one of these. You can get any of these if you Google TS vinyl pack or vinyl drum hits. You'll get a free download of those. They're for free. And yeah, so let's check that out. So I put a filter on it at 4.5 kilohertz. Put a resonance boost of 37% at 4.5 and drove it a little with this sampler emulation. And so let's hear it without that. It probably sounds, yeah, way too good, way too clear. So I kind of killed it with that. Didn't transpose it, just drove it. Let's actually hear what it sounds like. Oh, fuck. With this and that. So that's like what it sounded like originally, somewhat. And I made it sound like shit. Oh shit. Yeah, what the fuck is that? It sounds like, it's like a little whoop. All my drums sound like shit's hitting the fucking water. That's fucking great. People are gonna love that. Anyway, alright, cool. Sounds good in the context of the song, okay? Leave me alone. So now we have our snare. Woo! It's cool. That's 2 snares layered upon each other, this one and this one. So let's go to this view to get a better look at that. So our first snare, this is the main snare, is like more low. More like that right here, this whatever frequency this is, what is it, 190? It's like that, boom, the thud of the snare. So I have that with some reverb and some compression. Same idea with the compression attack, you know, after the transient. And yeah, this snare is also in that vinyl pack, so pick that up. And yeah, so that's, I mean, let's check it out. Is there anything going on in the sampler? Where the fuck is the sampler, you motherfucker? Alright. Boom, yeah, no filter, nothing. Just, oh, here we go. We got some EQ going on though. So that's, let's see. That's with the EQ, without the EQ. It's just making it more thuddy because my other snare, usually I like to layer my drums if I'm not being lazy. Like usually I'll layer my kick too. I'll have one with like a lower frequency and one with a higher frequency. Just so that, you know, you get best of both ranges and it's nice and big. So that's with both. Let's hear the other snare. See, it's more of that high end, not as much thuddiness, but more like of the like crisp shit, whatever you want to call it. And just have the frequency cut back just a slightly so it's not too digital sounding. And I have some reverb on that as well with the EQ. So yeah, so check it out. Here's that high one, here's that thuddy one, and here's both. Oh, that was both together. What the fuck is going on? Oh, I have both of them selected. So here's the high one, and here's the thuddy one. What the fuck? That is annoying. Why is it doing that? Alright. And there's the oh, fuck it, whatever. You get the idea. Oh, here we go. There's thud, there's high, and then there's both. They come together pretty good. Pretty nice, I'm digging it. And yeah, did I go into, yeah. So there's no compression on that one. On the snare bus, inside of here, let's see. It's just some minor EQ, making it more thuddy, dipping a little bit of that high end out. Oh yeah, there's a compressor on both. So this is the bus, so both snares are running into this. And then coming through here. Whew. So yeah, compressed. After the reverb, that's interesting. I guess I wanted a lot of reverb on that. And the reverb set to 50% stereo, so check it out. It's 50%, and then so see how it gets wider. I mean, unless I'm trying to make the drums sound like I'm in a cathedral, probably I'd rather them sound like they're in a room. So that's why I set it to 50%. And yeah, just basic reverb settings. Make sure you put it on high. Yeah, that's gonna be so that's that little part. So next in line, next section of the song is this. So this is kind of a build up into the, I don't know if a build up or more of like an intermission, like kind of chill out. Yeah, we're just chilling, you know, fucking kicking back, some fucking bass part, whatever. There's drums are just kick and snare. Never mind the clap, that's muted. You know, just like a little transition. So as for what is different, there's no melody in this part. There's the main pads doing their thing. Doing their thing, you know, same shit as before. But now we introduce the ambient pads. These are pretty cool. So let's take a look at those. Alright, let's delete that before I forget to, like last time. That's a secret. Okay. So yeah, basically the same shit. Another tape sample synth. I know how original. Well, wow, so new. Okay. I'll shut the fuck up. Oh, it looks like I pitched this up to C2. I don't know why going to C2 makes it a higher pitch. I would think that it would go a lower pitch, but I don't know. So anyways, on this pad, let's hear it without all that processing. Yeah, so it's, you know, it's, I mean, it sounds good, cool like that, but just want to give it some space and some kind of characteristics or whatnot. And yeah, so that sample's there, boom. Pitch, we have our sped at 100%. I know, how crazy. But that's because it's the ambient pad, so it's like I really want it to be wide. And in this, and the reason why it's in this section is because it sounded empty with just the main pad, because the main pad's kind of just like, I don't know, it's not so exciting on its own. So I layered it with this one to get, and this one's playing an octave higher than that one. So this one's at C2, and then this ambient pad's at C2, but in the sampler it is root key at C2, which makes it one octave higher. So just take my word for it, it's an octave higher. And yeah, so then we got our filter, cutting off some high end. There's no amount on this, so I don't think it's really doing anything. But our attack on here is sloped. It's a nice little ramp right there, boom, just to give it like that. I know, how descriptive. Then I released at 7.6 seconds. Just the pad, normal pad settings that I would put, no modulation. What is this? That's cool. Huh. Should mess with that. Alright, anyways. So let's hear it with the Mondo mod. Yeah, you could hear it modulating that pitch a little, making it sound lo-fi and crusty and shitty and good at the same time. So then, next in line we have the EQ. So that's just making it more of like that high-end element. It's wide, you know, like I said earlier, you want your higher end to be on the outsides of your stereo field, in my opinion. Which doesn't mean much because I'm a fucking idiot. But yeah, so yeah, that EQ, just bumping little details that I thought I liked. And we gotta go in through the compressors to level it out a little bit. Next is my favorite part, the ping pong delay. So let's hear it without. And then with. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So that's what that does is. So what is? I'm pretty sure 2 is like a half note delay. Maybe. Yeah. I think so. That makes sense. Yeah. Just have it pretty wet and pretty feedbacky, if that's a word. Yeah. It just makes it like bounces it side to side. You know, that ping pong delay. I really like that, and it gives it that atmosphere. So let's hear it with the other pad. Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, I like it. And this is what it sounds like if I just play on my MIDI keyboard. I don't know what the fuck that was. What the fuck? That's cool, kinda, not really. Alright, oh, wait. No, yep, I don't know what the fuck happened there. I might have broke it. It's playing like it's monophonic, but it has 6 voices. That's funny, I didn't notice that before. You learn something new every day. Let's just move on and pretend that never happened. Okay. So our lo-fi bass and sub bass, I already showed you the processing behind these. The only thing they're doing differently is adding this little octave jump to the, just right before the next note. So yeah, let's hear it. You'll hear it. So yeah, I mean, that's just varying because, I mean, you just want little things to change here and there throughout the track to keep it interesting. And yeah, it's cool, you know? I don't know. I was digging it at the time, so. Then our drums. Oh shit, you know what? I forgot to show you guys the shaker in the beginning. So let's go back to that real quick. So it's just a shaker. Where the fuck did I put it? I swear to God, I lose this thing all the time. Right here. So I just recorded this into the tape recorder with a metronome in my ear and just sat there like an idiot shaking an egg. Which is basically what it was. No, but yeah. So then brought it into here, pitched it down 6 steps, and put it behind this. Cut out the low end, added a reverb, and sidechained the hell out of it. Yeah, it just adds a little like ambient kind of percussive element. And yeah, so that's all that. We went through this part. The drums are basically the same, just no hi-hat. So let's move on to this next transition. Okay, here we go. Oh, let me unloop this real quick. Here it is. Cool. Yeah. So that's the next part. I just let's see what's new there. This little lead. Let's hear that shit on its own. So I explain why it sounds different there than it does here. So that's just automating this little effect rack here. Over here you can see it turns on. Oh great, it turns on. Where the fuck did it go? It turns on, and here it is. It's just a filter, boom, small amount of LFO, and some reverb. Yeah, so it just kind of makes it sound small and far, I guess. And that's, I like to do that in my transitions, just so that when it comes in it's like explosive, sorta, kinda. But yeah, so let's dissect it from over here. So yeah, we got, it's just, I mean, when I come up with these parts, it's basically just me finding, I'll lay out the rhythm for the pads first, and then just find a sample, you know, play around, find a sample I like, and then basically just start hitting keys. Yeah, I actually really like the sound of this lead. It's pretty cool. So let's get into it. So it's another tape sampled phonic instrument. Yeah, so I just got the filter, cut back on the high end a bit, gave it a little resonance boost, and then give it some attack, long release. Not much else, no spread, nothing. Let's get rid of these real quick. So here it is without those processes besides the compressor. Yeah, so that's without the Mondo Mod EQ or simple delay. So let's turn on the Mondo Mod so we can hear what that's doing. Yeah, so you could hear that it's modulating the pitch right here, boom. When it hits the high, it's going higher or lower. That's basically the pitch thing. I already explained that. Mix at 93, and yeah, it just gives it that wobble. Then we have the CLA compressor again. This one's really compressing the shit out of it, just because, I don't know, I wanted it to be louder and really stick through the mix. So I did that, yeah. So now the EQ is really going to tame everything, bring it into its own space. Yeah, it's just cutting out the low end, no mud, cutting out the high end if there's any extra hissiness. Nothing too fancy, you know, just taming it. And then where it does get fancy, sorta, is this simple delay. Again, 2 different times on the left and right, so it's kind of getting that. I know, and not too wet, but still wet, so you can hear a nice, good amount of feedback. Feedback is like how many times it's gonna repeat, or like, yeah, pretty much that. So let's hear it without simple delay. And then with simple delay. Yeah, you can hear it right there. Like, you could hear exactly what it's doing, just like making that choppy pan effect, which is cool. It really gives it like some ambience and some space. Makes it nice and wide and like, I don't know, just gives it a cool vibe. Next we have, the next element we have here is the, I call them ending pads. Cool. When they're really the middle pads, so that's quite retarded. Alright, so this is just another pad with another phonic sample. Boom. Nothing crazy, let's hear it on its own. Cool, now let's hear it without those effects besides the compressor. not digging that pop, I should have done this, but I already released the song, so it's too late. Even though I replaced the file on SoundCloud like fucking 20 times already, because this mix has been bugging me. But yeah, so to get rid of that pop, what I would do is set this attack. Watch. And there it's gone. So yeah, I didn't do that, so I'm not going to do it now, but just so you guys know, I know some people are going to be like, man, that's popping, why don't you set your attack? Well, I know. I'm sorry. Don't kill me, whatever. Anyways, yep, same typical thing, cutting back on the high end, boosting the resonance just a bit. No filter envelope really. I should just start turning this shit off. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. Yeah, like you saw, no attack, which is giving it that pop. Release, nice and long so that it rings out. And yeah, that is that. There's no spread, nothing else going on there. And then next we have the mono mod again. I know, why don't I just set up a bus and send them all there? Because my computer's powerful and I could put a million plugins on every channel, so ha! Anyways, let's check it out. Yeah, just doing, here you guys already know what that does. It's doing its thing. Here we have the CLA, compressing. Compressing the shit out of it. Yeah, I wouldn't claim to be an expert with compressors. Honestly, like this semester in school is when we really learned, or I really picked up on how to sorta, kinda adjust your compressor. But still, I know I'm not an expert, and probably you guys who are better than me at it are shaking your heads, but whatever. Tell me what to do. I need as much help as I can get. Anyways, so that's that. And then let's throw in the EQ. Yeah, so just cutting away that muddiness, and because eventually when we hit the simple delay it's going to be wider, and like I said before, you want your high frequency content to be on the outsides. And yeah, so let's hear it without simple delay. And let's hear it with. Yeah, you can really hear how it widens it up. Same thing, same settings basically, because I'm a lazy fuck. But I did adjust the dry wet and feedback. I know. Anyways, yeah, so that's that. I mean, similar to the others. Dipped out some of this. This probably right here is where the lead is. So I dipped that a little so the lead could pop through more. And yeah, got the sidechain all set up right there. Other than that, it looks like, so let's hear the main pads. Alright, so this simple delay makes more sense now. The reason why I didn't just set the spread wide on this one is because the spread on the main pads is at 48%. So I don't want to have them both spread, you know. I don't know, it's just, in my thinking, having this simple delay is going to give it a different kind of wideness than this spread wideness, you know? So it's just like, give each other some room to work. Let's hear them together. Well, first I'll play it with just the main pads, then I'll bring in the ending pads. Yeah, you could hear like it really brightens things up and makes the sound cooler with that simple delay. My lo-fi bass is being a lazy bastard, doing the same shit as earlier. Our drums are different, and I introduced this other shaker, so let's get to those. Check out the drums. So like I said before, varying or making shit different helps keep the song interesting. So this was the drums before. More of a, I don't know. Yeah, this one's more like, you know, just like more chill, leaving not so much craziness going on so that the instruments could really show their shit. I don't know if they really want to show their shit, but you get it. Anyways, here's a shaker. The name of this shaker is Ambient Shaker 80 BPM. I don't know if it's Ableton, comes with Ableton or what, but yeah, I did that. Let's see what kind of processing is on there. Just cut out some of that high end, gave it some reverb, and sidechained it to the kick. So with the drums, it's here with the drums, and it's panned a little 10 to the left. So that shaker, compared to the earlier shaker, yeah, you could hear how they're different. So like I said before many times, I'll repeat it just because it is important, is to have varying elements. Even though that's something I still need to work on, it's like adding random shit different places just to make certain parts sparkle and whatnot. You could do like reverse cymbals, reverse snares, and random plot spots just to make it more explosive. But yeah, so that's pretty much all of that part. Let's play it through to the ending. So right here, I just changed the drums up a little bit, added little hi-hats here and there just to give it like that shuffly bounce thingy. Looks like I just clicked these and I didn't play them. So yeah, and that's pretty much the ending. Is basically everything's the same from the beginning right here. I just brought it back. Then the ending, the very end, is just that main melody part by itself. Yeah, so that's that. Now let's get to our master chain. And so here, yeah, I just this should be deleted. So let's take a look at this automation on this effect rack. Yeah, just like in my previous tutorial, I showed that I like to filter things out in between parts and at the beginning, so when they come in, you know. So right here, like at the utility, it'll be dropped. I also have the my compressors and everything that's making the mix loud. I have them off when this effect rack is on, so that's why there's a boost right here, just so that just two different things. I don't know, just how I did it. It's more dynamics right here, and then just gets crushed and loud, and then more dynamics and low, then crushed and loud. So yeah, that's that. You could see it with 0, boom, boom, boom. This part though, I did automate another utility to come in. It's not in on the beginning, but right here it is. It's just making things wider because this utility brought everything down to 0. And yeah, so that just just so this part's a little bit, I guess, wider, yeah, because it has that pad and whatnot. So wanted to give that room to breathe. So let's work with this little spot when we're looking at the So you can see when I turn this off, everything gets a lot lower. So this is like my mix. If I didn't have anything on the master bus, this is the level my mix would be at. You can see not clipping, not you know, not overdoing it. And then bringing this in is what's gonna make everything loud. So what we have here is the Isotope Ozone 5 Exciter Maximizer. And it's just boosting some of those high ends. These are your bands, and this is how much harmonic excitement you're adding to those bands. So this is green, this is blue. Yeah, if you're colorblind, you're welcome. So yeah, it's just giving, like, you can hear it if I solo the band. So it's giving a little bit of that frequency and a little bit of that frequency. So yeah, it's just giving more air, more brightness to it. And then I compressed it. Just, yeah, compressed it. Make sure the compressor's not clipping in here. Yeah, so it's cool. So then next I have it going into the FabFilter Pro Owl limiter. So first what I'll do is I'll set this at -3. That's like the maximum volume your shit is gonna get at on the master meter. So you could see, let me see if I could. So you should see that it only goes like right here, because you don't want to clip. So it's probably only going to go like a millimeter below the 0 line. So the setting it at -3 does that. Then with the gain, you just start it off like this. So you find a nice volume where things still have a bounce to them, aren't overly compressed. This one is kind of compressed to hell, but I don't know, I just played with it and that's what I came up with. So FabFilter has great plugins. They have great EQ, a great multi-band compressor, all kinds of shit. So check them out if you haven't. Yeah, I think that's gonna be about it. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna try to do a tutorial every week, hopefully, because this really helps me too, to really like realize what I did, and I'm learning as I go through all these songs. You can download this song on my SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/we-are-machines. And yeah, I appreciate you guys' support, and subscribe if you want to stay tuned for my weekly tutorials. Thanks, guys.